Do you remember a few months back when De Bruyne was off target with his passes and Haaland's runs were ignored by his teammates? Or when playing Grealish and Mahrez on the wings felt like a recipe for disaster? Well, let me tell you, those days are long gone. Nowadays, it's all about the buzz, both in the stands and on the pitch. The passes are sharp, the pressure is high, and the game just feels slicker. With this current form, Guardiola's team could make history by becoming the first English team to win the treble since Manchester United in 1999. Sounds crazy, right? But hold up, we need to talk about the odds and the probability of this actually happening. But before we dive into that, if you want to help our channel grow and keep bringing you exciting content, please give a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty and break down the chances of this epic feat. Manchester City's comfortable triumph over Bayern Munich was a statement and has sent shockwaves through the football world, especially in the betting industry. Prior to the match, bookies were offering tempting 8-to-1 odds on the Citizens landing the coveted treble of Champions League, Premier League and FA Cup this season. However, with their dominant performance, these odds have been slashed and the treble is now considered a very realistic prospect. Under the tutelage of Pep Guardiola, Manchester City have been knocking on the door of Champions League glory for years. However, this season might finally see them conquer Europe. Despite previous setbacks, the two games against Bayern were a complete performance that impressed even the bookmakers, who have now made the Citizens even money favourites to progress into the semi-finals. The Citizens will be facing Real Madrid in the semi-final of the Champions League before a final against Italian opposition. They were eliminated by Real Madrid last season, although the bookies will have them as strong favourites to overcome Carlo Ancelotti's side. If they continue to play at the level they demonstrated against Bayern Munich, it's hard to argue against the odds makers' confidence in the team's ability to lift the title this season. Manchester City's quest for silverware this season seems to be on track, with an easy-looking FA Cup semi-final opponent in Sheffield United. It would be a major upset if Pep Guardiola's side don't make it to the final at Wembley Stadium to face Manchester United or Brighton. Whatever the outcome, the Citizens are firm favourites to lift this coveted trophy. In the Premier League, despite being 4 points behind Arsenal, Manchester City are the new favourites to win the title, according to the latest betting sites. It's looking like a double domestic success for the team, with bookmakers giving it a 50% chance of happening. Their ultimate goal, however, is the Champions League, and it's clear that this will be their top priority. If you believe that Manchester City has what it takes to be the Kings of England and Europe this season, you can currently get odds of 13-8 for it to be a truly unforgettable season for a team with a burning desire to make history. To cement their place as one of the greatest teams of all time, Guardiola needs to guide his Northwest side to European glory. The stakes are high, but the rewards could be immense. But what sets Manchester City apart from the rest of the pack? What makes them so special? And most importantly, you know what would also make you very special? If you support the channel by giving us a thumbs up, it'll help us to keep bringing you the latest analysis and insights. Alright, back to the action on the field. So it looks like they've already shaken off their post-World Cup lethargy and are now in the running for every trophy on offer. But what makes this team so unstoppable? We could talk for days about the style of play of the team, the way they control games, the quality of the players and the manager, but one thing's for sure. Manchester City have spent the season perfecting their intricate style of play and have been trying to seamlessly integrate the formidable Erling Haaland into their ranks. And while that's still the ultimate goal, recent weeks have shown that the Citizens may have also adapted to Haaland's unique abilities. Despite facing teams that try to press and exploit their weaknesses, Manchester City have managed to dominate and blow away their opponents. Even when Leicester sat deep, they were no match for the unstoppable force that is Manchester City. There was a time when people argued that bringing Erling Haaland into Manchester City's already formidable lineup actually made the team worse. There were a couple of reasons for this. First, there was a bit of a rough patch after the World Cup when the whole team struggled, and secondly, they seemed to be less fluid than they were when they played with the false nine. Even Guardiola himself admitted that City's style had to change slightly, and earlier in the season, things weren't quite clicking. But it looks like all of that is ancient history now. In recent weeks, City has been absolutely lethal when given even the slightest bit of space to exploit. From winning the ball high up and punishing RB Leipzig a month ago, to winning the ball on the halfway line and punishing Leicester a few weeks ago, City is now ruthless on the break. Their new style of play has allowed them to adapt to Haaland's unique abilities, and it's clear that they're back to their old, dominant selves. For Guardiola, the first leg against Bayern Munich wasn't the perfect game for Manchester City. He admitted to feeling emotionally exhausted after struggling to press the German giants in the first half, allowing Bayern to exploit spaces in their midfield and on the flanks. However, the manager's tactical tweaks helped City win back the ball and score their second goal. Guardiola will aim to have more control in future ties. Despite some imperfections, City showed qualities that other teams have used to beat them in the past. As Liverpool's Jurgen Klopp said, "In a lot of games they played better football, but we beat them anyway." This time, City defended solidly and ruthlessly punished their opponents on the break. With teams having won the Champions League with less, City's chances of European glory look promising. As we analyse the second leg of the match, it's fair to say that the game wasn't the most exciting one. However, there were some moments that added flavour to the game. From the beginning, it was clear that neither team was fully committed to winning. The Citizens had a comfortable 3-0 lead, and the Bavarians had to deal with internal issues, including a physical altercation between teammates Sadio Mane and Leroy Sané. The tension was palpable when Mane replaced Sané during the second half, and the exchange between them was frosty. Despite the lack of intensity, City's performance was solid. Gundogan and Grealish played a pivotal role in controlling the game and keeping the ball moving, but the star of the show was none other than Kevin De Bruyne, who showed why he's considered one of the best players in the world. City's victory means they advance to the semi-finals of this year's tournament, where they will face off against the mighty Real Madrid. It's a mouth-watering clash that promises to be a thrilling encounter. Moreover, Pep Guardiola is confident that his Manchester City team is in a strong position ahead of their upcoming final against Arsenal in the Premier League. The Citizens have won their last 10 games and are now only 4 points behind Arsenal with a game in hand. The showdown at the Etihad on April 26th will be crucial, and Guardiola believes his team is ready for the challenge. City always seems to have a certain aura when they're in a title race. They have a way of finding a win, even when things seem unlikely. With an FA Cup semi-final against Sheffield United coming up this weekend, City will have 2 games in hand on Arsenal this time next week. Meanwhile, Arsenal will have a chance to bounce back from recent disappointments when they host Southampton on Friday. The battle for the title couldn't be tighter, and both teams will be looking to gain an advantage in the crucial upcoming clash at the Etihad. But who will be more confident? Manchester City is a force to be reckoned with in the Premier League and have a real chance of winning their 3rd successive title. They possess the ability to turn their form around and rise to the top of the table, a trait that has limited Liverpool's success under Jurgen Klopp. City have been in formidable form, having only lost 1 game since February and winning 12 out of the 14 games they have played in the Premier League, FA Cup and Europe. In the past few weeks, they've been handed 2 major boosts in their quest for a 7th Premier League title. Meanwhile, Arsenal have struggled in recent games against Liverpool and West Ham, giving City the edge in the points race. According to 538's data, Arsenal's slip-up at Anfield gave Manchester City the advantage in the title race, and this weekend's matches only strengthen their position. The data now predicts that City is increasingly likely to overtake the league leaders by the end of the season. All eyes will be on the upcoming fixture between Manchester City and Arsenal at the Etihad Stadium on April 26th, where City have a formidable record against the Gunners, winning their last 11 Premier League meetings by an impressive aggregate score of 29-4. While Arsenal's recent visit to Anfield proved to be a tough challenge, City managed to dispatch Liverpool in their previous match. Newcastle United also have a role to play in the title race as they host Arsenal in their second-to-last home game of the season on May 6th. With everything still to play for, it promises to be a thrilling end to the Premier League season. Despite the tight competition, it's widely expected that City will come out on top before the final day of the season on May 28th. In conclusion, Manchester City's current form in the Premier League, FA Cup and Champions League is impressive and suggests that they have a strong chance of winning the treble this season. The last team to achieve this feat was their City rivals Manchester United, and it's clear that City's success would not be well received by the Red Devils. However, only time will tell whether City can maintain their momentum and make history. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing for more football analysis and updates. Thank you for watching.